No one is not worth it.
Totally. I totally agree.
Now, I don't know if that has anything to do with what we're talking about today, but I thought it would be a good intro. You're worth it. It's Hunt for Wellness, episode number 144.
In the Hunt for Wellness podcast, we talk about mind, body, and spirit because that's what people are made of. They're made of a body, a mind, and a spirit. And we want each of those to be fully functioning, fully nurtured, to live a healthy, full, living your best life.
Hello, welcome to Hunt for Wellness. I'm John Hunt.
And I'm Christy Hunt.
And this is the show where we help you live your best life, mind, body, and spirit. And this episode of Hunt for Wellness is brought to you by waterdistillers.com. Great machines providing great water for your great wellness. Check it out at waterdistillers.com. Have I ever told you that you are worth it?
I don't think so.
You're worth every penny I paid for you.
Oh,
Which
you didn't pay anything,
I know,
really.
but you are worth it.
Aww.
I mean, I think a lot of people's self-worth, we talk about that, people undervalue themselves. And we are all preciously made in the eyes of God, and we all have value and worth. No one is not worth it.
Totally. I totally agree.
Now, I don't know if that has anything to do with what we're talking about today, but I thought it would be a good intro.
Well, good. Yes, it is. I base this this particular podcast off of this quote by Melody Beatie called From the Language of Letting Go. And she says, "Nurtured people who love themselves and care for themselves are a delight to other people. They are well-timed, efficient, and divinely led."
Yes.
And I just thought that was so powerful. Honestly, who do you see that's a very nurtured person?
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know a lot of nurtured people, it seems. Like, people are kind of ragged and bedraggled is one of our favorite words. But,
yes.
And, I guess you really can't maintain your value very well if you're kind of rugged and worn out.
Right. And when you're worn out, beat up, bedraggled, then how well are you serving?
Yeah. And it's, taking care of yourself is really one of those things that we talk about all the time. Pretty much that's what the show is about, taking care of yourself, mind, body, and spirit.
Right.
So this is probably would be a very foundational episode.
Yeah, it is. And I was thinking about how women feel like, well, I don't have time. I don't have time to take care of myself. My kids are needing me, or my parents are needing me, or my friends, or my work, or whatever that looks like. We feel like we don't have time.
Yeah.
We don't have time. And how do men feel?
Well, men just don't think, this is not a priority for me. This is, I'm going to rough it through, or, if I'm not 100%, I'll get by on 90 and no one will know the difference. But people usually do. I mean, so men are just kind of proud guys who don't want any help and don't. We have that episode on that, don't we, where we talked about men and why they don't want any help.
Well, and as a nurse practitioner, when a man would come in to the clinic for a visit, we knew something had to be pretty bad because men rarely ever come in.
And then you say, "How's it going?" "Oh, I'm doing great."
Yeah.
"Why are you here? What's the real problem?"
I know.
Right?
Sometimes the wife has to come in to tell the real story.
Yes. Oh gosh.
So it is important to help each other take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Sometimes, just like with children, we can see with children that, oh, this kid needs a nap. This kid needs some food.
Yeah.
This kid needs a hug. And so the kid is not saying, "I need a nap now. Can you please put me down?" Or, "Will you please serve me some food?" No, they don't do that. We as parents see the need.
Right.
And we help them, and they don't want to take the nap. They're kind of crabby, but they go down.
Well, I think about the young moms too. I mean, basically all they're doing is taking care of their kids.
Right.
And don't have a lot of time. Well, they have the time when the kids are sleeping, but to really take care of themselves.
Exactly. But also adults need to help
Yes.
each other take care. I know you've said to me at different times, okay, now you need to do something. Okay.
Yeah.
You need to stop trying to do whatever you're trying to do,
Yeah.
or stop ignoring this and deal with it. And I've
Yeah.
said the same for you, because
Yes.
sometimes someone else needs to help another person see their need.
Yeah.
And see, it's time, you know what? It's time to stop and do some self-care.
Right.
Or ask for other care.
Yeah, so
in
I
this
suppose listening
situation.
to yourself, listening to your body, listening
Yes.
to others are all ways that you can at least identify that maybe I would say most people are going to need self-care. Let's make that statement.
Well, everybody, I would say
Everybody needs it,
everyone.
right?
Yeah, and our bodies are talking to
Yes.
us all the time. Are we listening? Like, are you getting some aches and pains? Well,
Yeah.
are you paying attention to it or ignoring
Right.
it?
Yeah.
Are you getting a stomach ache every day? You need to pay attention to that
Right.
and start dealing with it.
Absolutely.
Start supporting the digestive system. Okay, I also want to say sometimes self-care can be negative. Like, I just want to eat comfort food.
Yeah, yeah. I just want to
And what is
go
comfort
smoke
food?
a cigarette or something.
What is comfort food? It's usually kind of junky.
Yeah.
Cookies.
It
Or,
usually just takes and kind of suppresses whatever the issue is, right?
yeah. So
Get
like,
your mind off of it. That's
so-
not self-care.
no, it's not. Or I need a drink.
Yeah.
I just need to calm down. I just need to relax. I'm going to have a drink. That is not the self-care that we're talking about.
Right.
Because
Well,
those
there's a
kind
place
of,
for that,
yeah,
but-
once in a while.
right, but it's not
on
it's not a-
occasion.
It's not a treatment.
Right. It is not, should not be a pattern.
Right.
You
Should
know,
be enjoyment. right?
because comfort food that's not healthy depletes the immune system, lowers the energy. Like, what's the point of that? That's
Right.
not really comforting you.
Right.
And so we've heard the term of sharpening the saw.
Yes, Stephen Covey.
Yeah.
7 Habits.
Yeah.
Habit number 7.
So what does that mean, John?
Well, sharpening the saw means you're really going to work on taking care of things in your life. Also, sharpening the saw can be with other people as well.
Right.
Working on your relationships, working on yourself, working on, just being better at what you're already doing.
And I think, most of us don't use saws
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, like, sharpening the knife
Yeah.
instead of working harder to, like, try to cut with that knife, that dull knife.
Yeah, and that's what they use. The people that use saws and axes, the smart ones, the professionals, sharpen their saw before they use it because it makes it
Every
a lot
time,
easier.
right?
Right.
Every time. And when you use a dull knife, because we all use knives,
Yep.
you're more prone to hurting yourself, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. More problems can happen, and
More prone to cutting yourself because it's dull. You're pushing harder than you should. And so it's kind of the same thing. If we're not taking care of ourselves, like you're not taking care of the knife, you can hurt yourself.
right.
So that's why we need self-care. So I have a few stories for this
Okay.
one.
Good.
So several years ago, our pastor told a story where he was on a mission trip and they were working on a building and there was like 20 people and 2 ladders. And apparently they needed to work on this roof. And the work was going really slow because they had to take turns going up and down the ladder, like 2 ladders and 20
Right.
people. And so they decided, they kind of assessed the situation after a while and decided, you know what? They were going to stop working on the building, which felt kind of bad because that's what they came to do,
Right.
and build ladders so that the people behind them, like the next group coming, could actually get the work done better and more efficiently.
Ah, nice.
So that's what they did. But it really took a change of mindset in deciding what is the best thing for this situation.
Yeah, thinking about the long term versus the short term. I'm sure
Right.
they could have wanted to just get up and work, but
Right,
ultimately it was going to work better and faster for everybody involved that came after them.
right. So taking the time. And another one was like, I was working as a nurse practitioner at the end of the long day, tired, like normal actually. But that particular day, it was time to dictate on the charts to write down the notes for all the patients that I'd seen that day. And I was just like, I wonder if I can play solitaire on the computer, which I'd never done, which is kind of weird. You're at work. And but I did. I went and found solitaire. I played it for like 10 minutes. And then I came back to my work and it was so much easier.
Gave yourself a little break, didn't you?
I did. I gave like refreshment to my brain. It just like went so much quicker. And
Do you remember if you won?
Do you ever win at solitaire?
I don't know. I guess.
So, anyways, changing your focus for a little while, like doing that, was using a different part of my brain, so help my brain get refreshed, And just like think about after we've had a restful weekend, like when you start working out again Monday morning, it just feels easier.
Yes.
Don't you think?
Oh, yeah. And you're taking care of yourself first because it's first thing Monday morning.
Yeah. So, like what areas of life are dragging you down?
Yeah, that's a good question to ask.
Where do you need refreshment? Is it like more sleep or more time or space for quiet, more reflection time or thinking time,
more time on the golf course,
more fun?
Yeah.
Some time for creativity.
Yeah.
What is the self-care that you desire? And I'd probably say all of them.
Yeah, as much as possible.
Yeah.
You know you like your sleep too.
Yeah. So just going back to that quote that I said at the beginning, I just want to repeat it because I think it's so powerful. Nurtured people who love themselves and care for themselves are a delight to other people.
Yeah.
They are well-timed, efficient, and divinely led, by Melody Beatie.
Nice.
So it's just so encouraging, and it really goes against that thought, I don't have time. No, plan it, plan the time, make the time, work it in. And I know when we had little kids, we planned a date night.
At home after they were in bed.
Yeah, but initially we traded with another couple.
Yeah, that too.
When we had one kid and then we had two kids and then it was getting like 3 kids. It was like hard to do trades. So then we would do a date night at night. We'd put them to bed a little bit early and get some takeout and just have a date night. And that was so great.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And then we just took time for each other. Like I'd go away for a weekend and you'd stay home with the kids and then you'd go away and I'd stay home and just, supporting each other to do creative things, or finding other people to help. When you have situations like you've got to take care of these kids 24/7 and they can't be left alone, you need to ask for some help.
Yeah, now the kids are gone and we can go and take the camper away for the weekend.
Yeah, and that's
a lot of fun.
That's a great time of refreshment.
It is. It's awesome.
Yeah. Okay, I've got one more story.
All right.
So we went to Poland several years ago and we visited the concentration camp of Auschwitz.
Yes. On a gray and rainy day.
Yes, very, very fitting.
Yeah.
Very depressing place. But there was a very inspiring story that we heard about this man who the Nazis murdered his whole family in front of him. And he decided they did it because of hate. They hated the Jews. And he decided he did not want to be like those people. So he decided to love everyone. And he did. And he survived the 6 years in the concentration camp. And when he was liberated, the liberators thought that he'd just arrived at the camp. He'd only been there a few weeks, they thought.
Goodness.
Because he was healthy. He was thin, but it was really the power of love, the power of his mindset of love.
Yes.
And that God is love, and just like the greatest commandment, it says to love the Lord your God with all your heart, your soul, your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself.
Yes.
And so with that in mind, just like how do you love with all of your mind? It's like thinking good thoughts
Yep.
about yourself. You know, they say about 80% of our thoughts about ourselves are negative. So thinking good thoughts
Yeah, for sure.
about ourselves, thinking good thoughts about others, and good thoughts about God.
Right.
And not being critical. I mean, how do we want other people to be thinking about us? Do we want them to be criticizing us?
No, we want everybody to love us.
We do.
Mm-hmm.
So love ourselves in our thoughts, and love ourselves with our hearts, which would be like actively taking care of yourself.
Yes. If you love yourself, you're worth it, and you need to take care of yourself.
Right. Right.
Show that to yourself. Show
Yeah.
yourself that you love you.
And sometimes it's helpful to think of yourself like another person. Like,
Yeah.
I better take care of that person.
Yeah.
That's me.
Don't start talking in two different voices. That gets a little weird. But if that makes you feel better, do whatever you have to
Well, and then loving God with all your heart, that's just like worshiping God, you know, and how to love with all your soul, like your emotions and your
Yes.
will would be, I think, forgiving one another and forgiving yourself for things that you've done that you're not happy with,
Right.
which everybody does.
And if you're worrying, perfect love casts out fear.
Mm-hmm.
So even in tough situations, if you're saying, I can't even take the time or do anything right now because my life is so messed up, no, love yourself and take the time to heal by, taking care of yourself.
Well, and like this guy in the concentration camp, okay, he's not giving himself massages or
No.
taking hot baths.
Yeah,
It's his mindset.
right.
So having the mindset of loving yourself, loving others, and then the other last part of that scripture is love others as you love yourself,
Yes.
which did I write this? That's Matthew 22:37 through 39.
Yeah.
So love others as you love yourself. That means you're supposed to love yourself,
Yeah.
along with loving others, being kind and having grace towards others, thinking the best of others, thinking the best of yourself.
Yes.
So,
All right.
yeah.
How do we do it?
How do we
How do we do it?
Well,
Tell me how to take care of myself.
mindset,
Yes.
having the good mindset.
It's all in the mind to start with, isn't it?
It really is. And then listening to your body, listening to where it's talking to you. Like I said earlier, is your stomach getting upset frequently? Then pay attention to that. Deal with that. Support your digestion. Use the Digest, use
Right.
the other supplements that support the digestion. Is your back bothering you?
Right. We have 2 episodes. I think it was a 2-part episode on self-care we did a while back. We can link those in the show notes if you go over to Hunt4Wellness.com. This is episode 144, and we'll have the links to those other podcasts on self-care because it's a big topic.
Yeah, it is. And just like diffuse essential oils that light you up, like
Yes.
joy, inner child, valor, kid
Yes.
power, lemon. They're so good and they really support you. And like think about in your bedroom, turning on your diffuser 30 minutes before you go to bed and then shutting the door, then walking into that bedroom a little bit later. It smells so good. It's just like welcome to your bedroom.
Yeah.
Feels like a spa.
Love diffusing.
I know. And then just like, I know I used to hate washing my face because I would be so tired. I just want to go to bed. Then I started using that Art skincare that Young Living has, and it just felt like a spa.
That's nice.
I literally love washing my face at night. It smells so good. It's so nourishing. It's just a blessing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And just taking the time, like drink the NingXia Red.
Mm-hmm.
That's so supportive for the whole body, for the
Yes.
eyes, the heart, the circulation. Just take the time to do it, to drink it, to make it a priority. Take the supplements like Prostate Health for men, vitamin D to support your immune system, or collagen.
Yeah.
So keeping yourself healthy helps everyone,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So is that it? Any other thoughts before we wrap it up?
I would say decide to take care of you too, just like you take care of others with love and kindness everyone will be blessed around you when you take care of you.
Awesome. Hey, well, you can take care of yourself by getting yourself a water distiller, because this episode of Hunt for Wellness is brought to you by waterdistillers.com. Great machines that provide great water for your great wellness. All kinds of different ones. You can go check them out at waterdistillers.com. And I think now we need to go take care of ourselves.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Awesome. And then we'll catch up with you guys on the next episode of Hunt for Wellness.